I've been in a lot of guilds over the years, and recently, playing this classic fresh, being a retail Andy, this being my first time playing fresh, I've sort of come to the realization that drama, guild drama, is a key part to the success of any guild, or at least it forms a very important piece of the puzzle that is maintaining a cohesive social unit for a long period of time. We'll see how far my current guild gets into the Burning Crusade, maybe even Wrath of the Lich King. I mean, I'm on my hands and knees praying. I do love the people I raid and hang out with every week, but I do have to wonder if they see me in the same light. I think that's something that everyone asks themselves after raid, before raid, during the week. Do my guildies appreciate the effort I'm putting in? Do I appreciate the effort that my guildies are putting in? It's almost like the prisoner's dilemma that every single raider is going to experience, and that transcends every single version of World of Warcraft. I firmly believe, because I've experienced this in retail World of Warcraft as well. But back to the drama point. We're way back in Mr. Pandaria, guys. I was part of this guild where the guild master's wife, she was a very very accomplished holy priest, very very good at healing. She was also very very good at engaging in some questionable behavior with many of the guild members. So that sure made for some entertainment, I will say. It did end up killing the guild, though, before the Siege of Orgrimmar, and ended in divorce and yeah, all sorts of things, unmentionables. My most recent retail guild, though, guys, in the War Within expansion, they advertise themselves as semi-hardcore, and semi-hardcore, that's a term that I've come to realize it's problematic. It has some connotations where I don't think you're going to please everyone. That really should have been my first flag, raiding with these people in the War Within. But I endured. Nerubar Palace. What a raid. When you advertise a guild as semi-hardcore, I think people come into it with really different expectations. Different ideas of how the game should be played. Of how raid night should go. You'll have some people, they'll rock up full enchants, full consumes, fully well buffed. Obviously, that's only applies to classic, but very very different ideas of how the game should be played. And to be quite honest with you all, I don't think there is a right way to play this game. I think that's why there's a version of WoW for everyone out there. We've got retail, we've got classic era, we've got classic fresh, we've got hardcore, we've got season of discovery, we've got fucking plunderstorm. Mop remix. They're really, there's something out there for everyone. Regardless of that fact, I think the most important part of a guild, though, is everyone being on the same page in regards to what they want. This guild I'm talking about, the retail guild, the one that just blew up in the War Within. It blew up because not everyone was on the same page. Half the people are rocking up with enchants, the other half are rocking up, in greens. No enchants, no consumes. It's night and day. And like I say, there's no right way to play this game, but it is important that everyone is on the same page. And that's why I'm very very happy to have to started this classic fresh adventure. I'm very new to classic WoW. This is my first time playing the game. Classic, I missed out on Classic 2019. I had a lot going on in my life. I would have liked to have played back then, but it was just unfeasible for me. My current guild, though, on the anniversary service, the Fresh Realms, I'm very, very lucky to be a part of it. I think back to the drama point, though. I think there's minimal drama, but however, it's still there. It's still there. I don't think you could find a guild. Find me a guild that doesn't have drama. Even the smallest, the tiniest little bit of drama, it exists. I promise you. And if you're a guild master or an officer or some kind of veteran, and you think there isn't drama in your guild, I'm sorry to tell you, my friend, but there most certainly is. There are people gossiping. There are people talking. There are people spreading rumors. And I think it's intensified in the classic versions of the game. Anniversary, era, maybe hardcore, maybe sod. I don't know, but particularly in era and fresh, I really think that drama does exist within all guilds, and to think otherwise is pure delusion. But let's look at it from the other side, boys. Let's look at it from the other side. I think without drama, there doesn't really exist a soul to your guild. I think drama, it's important. There's no funny stories. There's no rumors. There's no gossip. There's no conversation. There's nothing to talk about. Without naming names, even in my current guild, there's been some major crash outs, and it's become almost a part of like the guild lore. It's added to the soul of the guild. The drama. All of these things, though, the gossip, the rumors, the drama, it's so human and it's so normal. And you'll find that not just in guilds, but you'll find that in the real world too. If you're employed, doesn't matter if you're employed at a fast food restaurant, if you're employed at a Fortune 500 corporate job, the rumor mill, the drama, the gossip, it's all going to be there. And that is because human beings love that shit. We live for that stuff. It's how we build community as human beings. Of course, there is a line though, and ultimately, you got to ask the question: where do we draw the line in respect to drama? When is a problematic member of the guild going to be handled? When does the drama or the gossip exceed reasonable limits? And really, that's up to the guild master and the officer core. Yeah, ultimately, they have to set the tone of the guild, and they have to set the acceptable level of drama that is allowed. But really, guys, yeah, it's the people and the stories that make this game worth it. Think about it. Do you remember anything that happened back? Just some random raid you did back in, I don't know, Mr. Pandaria? Do you remember your third Mogushan Vaults clear? Probably not. Nothing funny happened. No drama, no stories to tell. There's no memory of it. A good example, a very recent example, which I've talked about on stream, but the Band of Curious situation we had recently, Bugged Moon, the vexatious and frivolous ninja looter allegations that have been made against me, which have been vigorously defended, might I add, on stream. Someone in my guild, they put it very aptly when they said that, Salty, in a year's time, when we're in TBC, when we're clearing Serpent's Shine Cavern, when we're killing Magtheridon in his lair, No one would ever remember that molten core had I not accidentally equipped the Band of Acuria. But now that I have, it has entered the legend of the guild. You know, the lore. You know, it's become a story. It's become something that people can talk about, something people can share, something people can laugh about. The oral tradition has existed for thousands of years longer than the written word. And I believe that intrinsically, human beings, on some instinctual level, they love to hear stories. So you have to wonder, guys, at the end of the day, is it, you know, as the Zoomers would say, you know, you got to do it for the plot. Is it worth it to create stories, create drama? But again, that's up to the guild masters. They've got to set the tone for the guild, guys. They have to.